that. I have a friend that owns an insurance agency, and then our attorney, he's like, no, they do this knowingly, and he was like, it voids contracts, it does some other things. So yeah, that's my piece of advice.
Questions, Billy? You're muted.
I'm just I look at it like paying tuition. No, some people pay a lot of money for that. To go to good school, good college education, and I had to slow down. Like Skylar, how many guys are actually going to getting different types of lawyers and then eventually working their way up and getting a contract lawyer to improve yet again something he already had in place. So always seeking self-improvement in something that's already working. So right now I'm going to be reactive because I thought I was being proactive because I thought I had something terms and conditions that were good, but it's only good until you have an incident, right? So try to be proactive. And when a roundtable member is going through a situation that like a hose on a seal coat rig exploding, hey, stuff can happen. It might be one of us one day. So just always prepare, right? Thanks, Tyler. Thanks, Judd, for the advice.
It does take time. It takes money. It does take the college educations, to your point, right? Like it only typically happens when things happen, right? And it's not the easiest thing, right? It really is not the easiest thing. Like it is hard to pay contract attorneys and those type of things when you just don't have the cash. But like it's also cheaper to pay contract attorneys when you don't have the cash and you're not missing your money on the flip side of that, right? Where you could have wrapped 10, 15 grand up into an attorney. And I think you said like 30 is what you're missing right now, right? Like it was cheaper to pay the 15 grand than it was to miss out on the 30. So it's a double-edged sword, man. Like I sometimes think back and say like, how did we do it? And again, there was some things where we were like, well, it's kind of worked this way for this long. And like, we just got lucky or, we've had problems, a lot of the times we've skated by with just attorney contact, right? Again, we retain a legal team and most of the time when people want to play big dog and they think they're real smart and they send you a chat GPT message and it's chat GPT and they send some legal mumbo jumbo and I have my attorneys respond that I pay hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars an hour. Like people change their tune pretty quick, right? And we got lucky sometimes. We're like, all of a sudden someone's not paying and we just got an attorney involved and we're like, oh, by the way, here we are. And they're like, oh, things typically change, but then you can find yourself in a spot. And again, we've gotten to the point where I don't want to say like a $30,000 project wouldn't hurt. Of course it would hurt. It would suck. But like we've gotten to the point where we started doing really significant large projects, hundreds and hundreds of thousands where it'd be like, yo, this could be detrimental, right? Like this could really fold things like in a bad way. And it would really, 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 really hurt. So it was like spend the 10 grand on attorneys or lose 100, 2, 3, in a project.
Steve, you have a question. Come off mute and you can ask the question, brother.
Yeah, I'm Pro Seal guy. Sorry, what was your name?
Skylar, Coach Skylar.
Yeah, I'm kind of confused when you're saying you have to be listed as an additional insured on your own policy. Because I mean, whenever I do a job, I always I get my client listed so that they get a certificate with them as the additional insured. I was kind of confused. It sounded like you said I have to be listed as an additional insured, otherwise my policy is not really in effect or something.
So it would be a move on the defense when people request a COI. I'm going to give it to you twofold. It's a move on the defense, right? So if a contractor requests a COI, you send them a COI which just states they're a certificate holder, and if they try and sue your insurance, they can't. That's on the defense. On the proactivity side of that, if you get a performance partner and they're doing a project for you, you're going to be listed as an additional insured person on that contract because you want to be able to do their insurance or you're out, right? Your insurance would cover it. So that's typically how that goes. And then typically any type of site, again, it's the loophole that goes on that most people don't even realize it happens all day long. And if your insurance agent's good, he or she is already doing that on your defense when people are requesting COIs. And then the inverse to that though is where our insurance agent did that, or it was the negligence of it, but they also didn't do it in the inverse to make us additionally insured in the collections part of it. So that was an exposure we had, that again, our contract attorney pulled out and was like, whoa, this is like the easiest red flag, right? Like that was the, all right, give me, take my wallet out and hand him my wallet. And I was like, okay, how much, right? Like that's really like the first piece of value where it was like real quick. He was like, let me show you a quick little exposure. Send me your COIs. And I sent him and he was like, okay, great. Here's all the ones that you're going to get sued on. And here's where you're losing your ass. All right. Now you want me to do your contracts. I was like, all right, done. Like,
Okay.
so yeah, on the defense, COI, on the offense, additionally insured contractors.
Thanks, Skylar. By the
No
way,
problem.
Coach Skylar's badass. I don't know if do you guys raise your hand if you know Skylar? Like if you've interacted with him, you've done any coaching with him? Yeah. All right, cool. For those of you that are looking to level up to a whole next level, just letting you know, if you ever wanting to do infield training or you ever wanting to do any kind of virtual training, Skylar Garmin is a beast. And Skylar, I know I'm going to make you blush right now, but you're a complete beast, man. And we're so grateful to have you a part of the community, bro.
Appreciate you. One day at a time, man. One day at a time. Right now it's the Brinks trucks. We're trying to keep the gold bars in the Brinks trucks, bro. Seasons.
How are things?
Good. Keeping the gold bars in the Brinks trucks. That's it. That's our only objective. Our company motto is #close the door.
What are your core values? What are your core values at ProSeal?
Hardworking, delivers, thinkers, concierge, team.
Love it. The guys all know it too.
Everybody can recite it. We say it every single morning together as a team. We review everybody from top to bottom. We review mission statement every single morning. We say it together as a team. I go around the room. I ask everybody how they lived out the core value in the following day. We share gratitude after that, and then we roll into priority setting, objectives, some of those things. And that is every single day without a skip of a beat. And the guys know it, the guys live it out. And if not, the standard is set, accountability gets enforced, and the right people come in, the wrong people fall off.
It's amazing how that happens naturally, isn't it? A lot of the time.
Yeah. And it's different. Yeah. It's different. Once you get to a different level of understanding some stuff, like, I don't know. I keep saying, I feel like a cloud has been lifted off of my head. Like I've understood a lot of things and I got it, but I didn't get it. And it again, probably like a lot of people on the screen, they're like, yeah, core values, I'm going to do those things. Right. And like, until you get to the point where you start really training and hiring professionals and you want the right people on the ship and you have a team and there is this dynamic and, you start to design, you truly consider the life that you want to live and you design that inside of it. You don't realize how important those things are, that vision, those missions, those core values. We probably have a change coming up eventually with some of the core values. We have definitions under a lot of them, but I think that we're going to do a leadership, I would say team building exercise where we might change a core value or two, because I think like hardworking, right? It might make sense on the level of leadership or executive staff where they say, okay, hardworking. But for a guy that is in the asphalt crew and he works 14 hours a day, or he works a 12-hour day in a 90-degree sun, he's like, yeah, it was hardworking. And we're like, yeah, I get it, but that's your job, right? Like it is hard. It is hot. So it's truly like, I think something that, has been sitting on my heart lately, and, the team is like exceptional, like something like that, right? Like the drive for excellence, what's above and beyond, what really stands out, because that's truly, we are hardworking, but like that should be a given, right? Like if you want to be on the team, you're hardworking. If not, you don't make the cut. But yeah.
You came on to the meeting a little bit later, and we were speaking about core values earlier, and that's why I asked you, just out of curiosity, which I know your core values for the most part, but we were speaking about living by them. It's a very different thing to just have them on the wall versus actually practicing and living them.
It is, because when you make someone say that every single morning and they're not living them, they feel like a fraud, right? And all of a sudden, all of the darkness, the closet doors are open, and they're sitting there bleeding out, playing this game every day, right? Like where they're going, oh yeah, they're saying this thing in the morning thing, and then you hear the thing, or you catch it out in the office or out in the shop or out in the field, and all of a sudden everyone's pointing fingers, going, what? Like you got the whisper in the office, and now all of a sudden he's the outcast, right? Or she's the outcast, and it's that, right? And it really does shape the team, and especially when you have leadership that are professionals that can hold accountable to those things, right? Like there was a lot of times where we had core values that we lived by, quote unquote, but there was no true accountability in departments and or professionals that truly said, no, show me this, right? Just because we got it done, and yeah, it's better than the competition, that doesn't mean it's complete. Like we could go to concierge, right? That doesn't mean it's complete white glove service. You didn't take the bags and have flowers on the bed. You just said, hey, how you doing, and open the door. And yeah, most people can't get to that point, but again, professionals, accountability, core values.
What year is this right now that you're in? 2025 here. What season is this for you?
5.
5 years.
Yeah.
And question for you, if you could go back to your first year, what would you do differently?
I would literally, what I've done recently, I would turn the model upside down. I would turn everything upside down.
What would be the first thing? What would be the first thing that you would do?
My last response I gave to this question was sitting at the table with Brandon and Complete Asphalt Solutions, and I said I would find my right-hand man. We were sitting at dinner when he was here. I said I would find my right-hand man, and I would build from there, and I would find that guy that really changes the dynamic of the business. I think I would probably do that, and then it's the second step, right? Like it's the second step that I think I would have said I would have went to work, and I would not do that ever again. I would understand the pain points of the industry and solve those, because that model is significantly more fun when you can find good people, good operators, and how to market and sell and understand the funnel truly, and how to take a really wide funnel and keep it really wide on the bottom. Again, hashtag close the doors. We refer to parking lots and pavement as gold bars, right? And we're driving around a Brinks truck, and sometimes we forget that the doors open on the Brinks truck and the gold bars are falling out the back door, and we can't have that, right? And I would focus significantly more on that, of how do I make sure every single gold bar that goes inside of that truck stays inside of that truck, and truly understand what the scale of that is, and then bring operational complexities and headaches to the equation.
Where can people reach out to you, Skylar, if they want to connect?
My email's in the thing that would work. Instagram as well, Garmin Skylar. Yeah,
cool.
It was email, Instagram, send me a message, or follow me, ProSeal PA. Anything there. Those would be the best. And I'm like, I think I'm pretty good on getting back to everybody. Sometimes, you know, people get advice. Sometimes, hey, I can't do much because it's not, you know, wrong timing type of thing. Right. Like, but you know, there's times where sometimes it's just people need the conversation. I get a lot of people that come to me and they're like, you know, they got all this stuff going on. I'm like, as hard as it is for me to say this, of like, yo, you need to slow down, right? It was a big theme when I spent time with you, Judd, and Anguilla. You need to slow down and truly understand what's going on. We get overwhelmed very quick, and the more that you can process it and truly understand the pain points and say what's going to really solve this problem, I've come to realize like I've made a lot of decisions really quick, which some has worked, some hasn't worked, and I only need to make a couple really good decisions a year to really, really take headway in my space. And I got to spend all the time making those really good decisions instead of just making decisions in the meantime.
Appreciate your time, brother.
Thank you.
I hope you guys all took some amazing nuggets away from this time right here. We've got a couple hands up over here, but again, Skylar, as always, thank you for all that you pour into the community, man, and all the paying it forward that you do. It's incredible to watch your journey that you've been on. It's wild to see and to even think remotely like it's a year and a half since I've known you, you know. It's
crazy.
Feels like 15 years, but it's like it's pretty wild, man. And again, honor and privilege to be a part of the journey, man.
Yeah, and ups and downs too, right? Like I always try and paint it in the most positive of if I can do it, you can do it, but like don't think it's all sunshine and rainbows and there's this magical thing that's just like that like you guys are really missing the magic sauce. You're missing the right direction and the grit to do it. Like that is it. Like the magic sauce is the grit and the mentorship of where to actually go because we run around a lot. Like
bingo. We were speaking about the revenue roadmaps and the plan and all that stuff earlier, and it was like there's the there's kind of this general phase one GPS to get to the destination, but there's multiple levels of GPS at a granular level that you can get into extremely deeply. And the more deep that you get into refining what the plan is with the people that actually have been there and done that and understand it, the more likely you are to not just build a company that's filled with vanity revenue, but instead you actually are building a business that has cash and enterprise value, and you have something valuable for you. And I think that's the important thing is you don't have to eat an elephant, but at the same time, you got to start somewhere, and that somewhere starts in these kind of places right here. And then you take the next step. Nobody else is going to take the action for you. Whatever your next step is going to be the domino that you're going to push into the next one.
Yep. And the right people, you know, again, there's been so many fostered relationships out of me doing this, right? You know, me going to the events, me going to the round tables, me doing the thing, right? There's so many people that I can call upon, right? And like, and again, some may have bigger businesses, some may have smaller businesses, some may have equivalent businesses, but it's just the perspective shift of like, hey, am I looking at this right? Am I doing this? And like, there's been some like good conversations where I've spoken to some people for 20, 30 minutes and like, holy crap. Like you're telling me I just like, I ran around for 3 months. Like I was bleeding out. Like I had a 50 cal hole in my chest and you just like gave it to me in 20 minutes. Like, he's like, yeah, bro. Like, you know, we bounce things off each other all day long. Right. And again, I might be strong at one thing and someone's strong at something else. And we just go back and forth.
Yep. Network, circle. It's important. Your time is precious. It's precious.
It is.
Speaking of time, we are coming up on the top of the hour. We've got Chad Keeping. Your hand is up. We're going to shift to gear. Chad Keeping. I see some happy faces over there. I see some trucks and equipment.
Yeah,
What's
what's
happening?
going on, fella?
Doing great, man. You out working?
We're shifting gears, buddy. This is my new hire for this year, Shelby.
Hi.
She's a lead hand.
Hey, Shelby.
She learned some crack fill, crack cleaning this week, so she's an asset to my company. And here we go. We got the truck, trailer, spray rig, everything. Hey, Tyler or Skylar, I remember Dundas. You were in there like a dirty shirt. Hey, what's going on, guys?
That's
Like
it. That's it.
I'll always cherish that, buddy. And you
That's
know,
it.
the energy you give that day is the energy I have today, man. I just want to thank you for your energy and your comments and everything on my posts. Let me tell you, it's been a true inspiration and it's brought me out of some holes.
Awesome. Awesome. Dude, I'm so glad to hear that. That's awesome. And, I think what's even more neat is, again, like, we could go to the lighthouse analogy, or we could go to, again, the light that shines the light, right? Like that's
Yeah.
truly my objective, right? I think it's even more neat that you're sitting there pouring in, talking so highly of the new hire than it is me to you, right? Like, it's cool, but I think it's
Exactly.
even more cool that you have the energy to do that to her, right? And
Yeah.
that translates. So I appreciate
Okay. So Shelby, working for me for as long as you have, what's your intake on it?
It's slow work, but it's hard work. But I can do it, and I'm willing to learn.
What am I like for a boss?
Oh, you're an awesome boss.
I love it.
He even took me over lunch.
No, this isn't a paid commercial either.
No, this is live.
it.
But
Hey,
yeah,
it's
the work
Shelby, right? It's Shelby.
Shelby, yeah.
Shelby, I'm sending incredible energy your way, and I know that you and Chad are going to go out there and absolutely dominate the balance of the season. One of the things that we have used as our keyword for the round table here is consistency, and I think that that's such an important thing. Is we all have to remain consistent in the things that we're doing and make sure that you're operating off of a set of core values. As Skylar, as we said earlier, operate off of a set of core values that isn't just something that is words that are, that are tucked away somewhere, but let it be the guiding light to you to help you build that culture. And when you have bad days, revisit those core values every single day, revisit them, right? It's not, every day is not going to be a perfect day. I say this often.
No.
It's not always filled with cupcakes and butterflies, as we say, right?
No, definitely not.
So you guys are going to go out there and absolutely rock it. I'm super excited to see you, Chad, and I'm so glad that Shelby's joined you, man. Go crush it.
Yeah. I closed a $10,000 job last week, so I got a deposit this week, so I'm happy.
Let's go.
We've broke records of last year already, and it's just begun. So let's bring it on.
Let's go full speed, man.
Keep
Message
to the rocket.
Matthias and Dylan Malone, you're on here right now. What do we do when there's success and wins that come in, like when big deals come in? What do we usually do on our WhatsApp group?
Ring the bell.
Ring the bell. So Chad, on Facebook, send me a private message when you close those deals. Send me the bells, man. Send me a ring a bell. All right.
I will, fella.
Success attracts success. Again, congrats, brother.
Yeah, no, thank you. It's been a rough year, but it's been a good year.
Growth is painful, period.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Growing pains are painful. But you know what, guys? You're seeing it right here. I'm talking live. Nobody's paying me to say this stuff. It's real. You just follow the dang process.
Yeah.
And I'll just learn as much as I can along the way.
Let's go. Mr. Mike. Mr. Mike, I see your hand up. We're going to get to you over here. I know you've been patient, man. Last question for the night.
I just have a quick question about some oils on so the primer tack oil that we're supposed to put over oil spots, is that just a regular asphalt tack oil like CSS1? Does anybody help me out there?
Depends on the actual penetration of the stain. Like if it's, are you able to carve a screwdriver? Like if you push a key, can you press a key and penetrate the asphalt?
There are some spots that are like that.
Yeah. I mean,
remove and
there's,
replace, or
yeah, you're not going to be able to prime those areas. It'll bleed. It'll bleed up
obvious.
through the surface. You know, some guys, some guys will torch it. Some guys will infrared it and say that they'll burn it out and that kind of stuff. But you got to really, at the end of the day, set the expectation with the client and do the right thing, which is if you know it's penetrated that surface, it's probably destroyed the bitumen and tar inside of the asphalt, so the integrity is not there and it's compromised, and then it's going to end up with a shitty outcome down the line.
Copy.
For stuff that, go ahead, Scott.
I would say another quick little, like, I'm going to give you a little tip that I think a lot of people overlook, and another revenue pickup is find a good pressure washer partner that hot washes and chemical treats. And 9 times out of 10, he'll charge you 150, 200, 300 bucks to go out and treat those spots. Again, if it penetrates with a key, it's shot. You got to patch it. But like those other oil spots that really aren't that bad, that aren't, that a primer might work, hot pressure wash it, oil treat it. The pressure washer is going to charge you 300 bucks. You're going to charge the client 750. I would say we don't even seal unless we do it. They elect the option. You just picked up an additional $400 worth of revenue. We also still lightly torch the spot. We use the latex Band-Aid primer. We put that down and then we seal. So again, I feel like it depends what type of setting this is on. If it's commercial, residential, regardless, it's irrelevant. It's just bigger numbers. It might be 3,000, it might be 1,000 to pressure wash and you're going to sell it for 2,000 or whatever. But like we set it as a standard where we don't treat it unless we actually treat it with the hot wash and the chemical wash. And it builds trust with the customer, because I'm like, they look at all the other proposals and they're like, well, why is Bobby going to put that on there? I'm like, well, Bobby's probably just going to slap that on because he thinks he's going to be able to slap it down and seal it and it might bleed and blah, 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 blah. Yeah. And they run away, right? So they're willing to pay more for that. And it's like, we do this type of stuff at a high scale right now. Imagine just maximizing revenue of every client if we could do that on every parking lot, or say 7 out of 10. And guess what? The other 2 out of 10, I'm running. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm good. I don't need it, right? I want to do jobs that are right, that hold up, that look really well. And then typically the ones that would try and still not elect for it and then make you do it are going to be the ones that just never go away, because when it does bleed through, they're going to be like, I want you to come back and do this and treat it. And you're going to be out and you're going to be chasing your tail and you can't fix it. And it's just this never ending thing. So those little type of things pick up so much revenue, right? If you can add another $2,000, $3,000 on a bill, like it's just another service item and it's just another performance partner.
Just be cautious though in any kind of guarantee on that stuff, right?
Yeah.
Just
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. We just say it. This is your best chance against it. The correct is the patch or the mill and pave, right? But this is your second best option. It's not guaranteed, but it does, work. It's your next best option, basically, to this cost. And again, the way I look at it, if you truly learn to look at the business like a machine, if you sell pressure washing for 1,500 bucks and your pressure washer did it for 1,000, and say your cost of acquisition for a client is $500, that pressure wash upsell just paid for your marketing expense. So now it's not coming out of your bottom line. You've just learned to build a machine that you continuously pump money into, and the marketing pays for itself, and you continue to take that money and you just recycle it, and the marketing grows and the client, and all of a sudden your funnel's so big and you say, how do I do all this work? And there's lots of little things like that you can do in this world that it gets greatly overlooked.
So I will also say this, I've watched people go the 2 different directions, right? They go and rush the job because they're super excited to close a deal and they're just going out and they know that they should be trying to upsell on what we're speaking about right now, but they don't go because they're looking for the path of least resistance. And then they do the job and it fails. And then they never have that the customer will never come back to them ever again. And they're in the mindset of building a business that's just a business that's picking up a customer one time in their lifetime. That's the business that they're in. The challenge with that is that you don't develop any enterprise value around your organization when you do that. Lifetime value is really what you need to be focusing on. So again, if we put our baseball cap on or our hat that says we own a pavement asset management company, we're not just out there to do a quick one-shot wonder here. We're really looking at this as being an opportunity to prove ourselves so that our customer know, likes, and trust us, because the value doesn't come out of the first job. The value comes out of the lifetime. If I'm going to buy your company, I'm not interested in how much you did last year. I'm interested in how much you've done over the last 3 years with X number of customers. You follow what I mean? And the net profitability of your business.
And to clarify too, right? It's expensive. Like, as it's expensive to even retain customers, right? And it's not like you got to pay a salesman to constantly be in front of them. You got to just stay in front of them, right? Like, and we've seen this because we've serviced customers in our maintenance cycle, where say we serviced customers 2 or 3 years ago, and then I'm paying for leads and they're coming back in the front door and they're like, that's right, we did do work with you. So I'm not saying you pump money into a machine either to just acquire new customers. You can, but it's also how are you staying relevant to those customers you have? Do you have the additional $500 to buy, again, we buy Yetis and Carhartts and all types of fun stuff, cookies, like for our commercial clients, all the time. And you want to know what that $500 is doing? It's paying for all that stuff, right? And if not, it's super expensive and it's all coming out of your bottom line. And you're looking at it and you're going, how did I do this? But really, our salesmen have become friends, and we're just dropping in and dropping off the gift, or we're sending out automation or whatever it is over long life cycles. It's not just here's a quote, reminder, and they die. We pay monthly for automations and direct mail and gifts and lunches and events and all of these things that we try and do to tie in to build this community
Lifetime value.
Yeah. Instead of this sales transactional feel in that. And you got to have the money somewhere to do it.
It's too much. Listen, if you're constantly searching for new customers, I'm not saying not to search for new customers, but with the intent to build lifetime value, it has to be the intent to do that. It's way easier to have someone come back to you and say, hey, come and do my parking lot again, versus you having to go and quote against other companies and acquire them through advertising and paying for leads and all of that stuff, going to do the hard work, right? So anyway, we're topped out here on the AK Roundtable. We've got an extra 12 minutes. We'll call that the bonus round. Skylar, thank you so much for your time co-hosting Mr. Matthias, but I do have one more thing. Dylan Malone, are you on? We do not see your wonderful face on you here. Are you still active and live?
Yes, sir.
Fantastic. Do you have anything that you want to share on here tonight on the AK Roundtable as the final wrap up?
Yes, I do. I see a lot of new faces that I've met with the past couple weeks to discuss AK Dash. So that's a W. That's a win for me. But if you have not taken a dive into AK Dash with me as of yet, please shoot me an email, dylan@asphaltkingdom.com, so I could show you the system. And I'll also drop my booking link in the chat box here so you can book with me there.
Awesome. Thank you, Malone. And we're going to actually wrap this up by you giving us the 2 big words, and it needs to be filled, jam-packed with energy. It just has to be that. Come on. Hold on. Let me put you in spotlight. Let me put you in spotlight. This is it for everyone right now. Let's go.
Let's go.
Thanks, buddy. Everyone have a great night. We'll see you next week. Same time, same place, right here on the Roundtable. Thanks so much.